Welcome to AVTR1, the industry's go to tool for visitor engagement and experience delivery. What sets AVTR1 apart from other augmented reality experiences is that you are in complete control and can change the messaging and the avatar itself as much as you would like. From an avatar hotel concierge to a bartender explaining the flight of microbrews in front of the guest to a tour guide leading visitors along a trail or through a gallery, the possibilities are endless when it comes to the uses of your own avatars. This tutorial will walk you through how to develop the components required to bring your content to life with your avatar. It really is quite simple and a little bit addictive, especially when it comes to building out the perfect avatar and layering in sound effects and soundtracks, which is something we will discuss in the advanced functionality video. There are three main things you require to bring your avatar to life. You need to build your avatar, you need to give it something to say, and you need to determine where you want it to live in the real world. This requires 6 steps. You need to create your avatar in Ready Player Me. You need to write and record a script. You need to convert that recording into an SRT file. And don't worry, it really is easy to do. You need to add movement and placement commands. Then you need to upload your files to your asset library. And finally, you need to activate your new experience. This video will show you how to do each step. I recommend that before you start into the meat of this video, you read the resources page of the manual and have the links and free programs you require ready to go. If you have them ready, you will be able to complete each step as you follow along through the video. Building your avatar is probably one of the most fun things to do. There are a myriad of outfits to choose from, and you can even take a picture of yourself and create an avatar with a likeness to you. Let's dive into building your avatar. Okay, so the first thing you need to do is get to the website. You just click that from the manual, which will take you to our readyplayer.me Central Counties site. It'll pop up, look something like this. You're going to click the settings. You're going to click sign in. Now, I've already got an account, so I'm going to sign in. But you're going to go down here where it says don't have an account yet. You're going to sign up. And the reason you want to do that is that once you're signed in, all of the avatars that you create are saved. So you can easily go back and forth and grab them without any issues. So I've got several that are set up for other programs and experiences that we've created. But right now, as a test, we're going to create a new one. All right, so here we go. It starts just with a generic person. We go up to the top right, and this is where you can determine if you want to have a likeness of yourself. So you can either take a photo or upload a photo of yourself, and it will create an avatar. If you're like me and don't want that to happen, then you can go and choose if you want to be male or female. And then there's all sorts of different body types that you can use. So I am going to very quickly go through this because it'll get pretty boring for you if I don't go quickly. So I'm going to be a male. I am. Whoops. Continue. All right, there we go. Then it's just a matter of picking all of your choices. So there's the face. There's my eyes. Okay, I'm just picking different things here. I'm going to give myself a different haircut. And because I am getting old, I'm going to change it to a gray. There we go. So anyway, you can play around with it as much as you want. We have these set outfits. And I think that I like the outfits. So because we're going to be doing this as a bartender, there we go. I think we're going to use that. And then you just click next when you're done your person. And this is very important. This is now where your new avatar lives. So you want to copy that, and eventually you'll be able to paste it into the the upload portion of your asset library, which we'll get to in a little bit. Anyway, so that's all there is to it. This also now will live in your own gallery. So when you go back to when you log back in, this would now live there if you had built it. All right, so let's get to the next section. The next step is writing and recording your script. Now, if you don't fancy yourself a writer and don't like the sound of your own voice, don't worry. There are lots of tools out there to help you bring your stories to life. Let's walk through the process and options. When developing your scripts, best practice is to keep the length of each segment of your experience to under 3 minutes. This both shortens the load time of the experience and will keep the visitor engaged and looking forward to the next segment of the story. For this example, we're going to pretend that we are a brewing company. Now, this script was actually produced by Copilot. I just put it, I'm in Microsoft Word. I tapped this and it asked me what I wanted to do. And I said, I need a 2 to 300 word narrative about 3 micro brew beers in a flight. And this is what it came up with. I've done a little bit of editing, but for the most part, it took about 30 seconds and it came up with this great script. So now we need to record the script. So I'm just going to pull this over where you can't see it, but now you are looking at Audacity, which is the program you can get for free, and it can do great things for recording your voice, and it can also layer in soundtracks and sound effects, which we'll talk about in the advanced video tutorial. But for today, we're just going to record the voice. So I am going to read the script after I press record, and then we will do a quick edit to see how many times I've screwed up, and we'll cut those pieces out. We'll go from there. Hi, my name is Chuck, the head brewer at AVTR1 Brewing Company. Thanks for purchasing our Avatar flight. I know you won't be disappointed. So, starting from the left, the experience begins with a sunlit wheat. A hazy Belgian-style wit beer. It pours a pale gold with a gentle, frothy head, inviting the nose with aromas of orange peel and freshly crushed coriander. On the palate, it is crisp and effervescent, presenting zesty citrus notes that dance with subtle hints of spice. The finish is refreshing and clean, evoking the feeling of a summer breeze. Next, the deep wood amber offers a striking contrast. This Canadian amber ale glows copper in the glass and entices with a bouquet of caramelized malt, toasted nuts, and a whisper of floral hops. Its mouthfeel is smooth and medium bodied. Flavors of burnt sugar, biscuit, and dried apricot unfold, supported by an earthy hop backbone. The bitterness is assertive but well balanced, leaving the palate with a pleasant, warm linger. The final brew, Shadow Peak Stout, pours an opaque ebony, crowned by a dense mocha foam. The aroma is decadent, reminiscent of espresso, roasted barley, and bittersweet cocoa. Each sip envelopes the senses with layers of dark chocolate, black coffee, and hints of vanilla bean. The texture is velvety, bordering on creamy, with a subtle smokiness that adds depth. The finish is long, pleasantly dry, and leaves traces of dark fruit and toasted oats. Together, these through micro oh my goodness. Together, these 3 microbrews form a harmonious flight, showcasing the artistry and diversity found within the world of craft brewing. Okay, so we did okay. I screwed up a few times, so let's go back to the beginning and I'll show you quickly how to cut and paste. Hi, my name is Chuck, the head brewer at AVTR1 Brewing Company. Thanks for purchasing our Avatar flight. I know you won't be disappointed. So, starting from the left, the experience begins with a sunlit wheat. Okay, so We know that I screwed up right about there. And the cool thing is you can see the pauses. So let's find out where that was. Start from here. Disappointed. So, starting from the left, the experience begins with a sunlit wheat. Perfect. So what we can do is we just cut this part out. Cut it. Start here again, and now it will work. I know you won't be disappointed. So, starting from the left, the experience begins with a sunlit wheat, a hazy Belgian-style wit beer. It pours a pale gold with a gentle, frothy head, inviting the nose with aromas of orange peel and freshly crushed coriander. On the palate, okay, so what I'm looking for is when you get used to this, you'll know that this is when I'm talking and this is when I'm not talking. So where there are long pauses, I messed up, and that was close to the back. Here we go. That's a long pause. So let's see where I screwed up here. The aroma is decadent, reminiscent of a. The aroma is decadent, reminiscent of espresso, roasted barley, and bittersweet cocoa. Each sip envelope. Okay, I think I screwed that up more than once, though, didn't I? Let's see here. Pours an opaque ebony, crowned by a dense mocha foam. The aroma is decadent, reminiscent of a. The aroma is decadent, reminiscent of espresso, roasted barley, and bittersweet. Okay, so all we need to do here is cut this part out. Cut, and let's see if that worked. Crowned by a dense mocha foam. The aroma is decadent, reminiscent of espresso, roasted barley, and bittersweet cocoa. Each sip envelopes the senses with layers of dark chocolate, black coffee, and hints of vanilla bean. The texture is velvety, bordering on creamy, with a subtle smoke. I know I screwed up at the end too, so I'm just trying to figure out where. Long, pleasantly dry, and leaves traces of dark fruit and toasted oats. Together, these through micro. Oh my goodness. Okay, so we know that from here to here is a mess up. This is how easy the software is. And we're going to cut it. That's probably too long a gap. Let's see here. That's it. And toasted oats. Together, these three microbrews form a harmonious flight, showcasing the artistry and diversity found within the world of craft brewing. Okay, so I did get through it, although I did emphasize together that third time, but that's okay. All right, so what we do here is we now go to File. We are going to save the project. I'm just going to quickly go into this PC. Oops. Where am I? Where's my desktop? There we go. All right. Well, I'm just may as well save it. Materials for the video guide. This is the voice track. This is the. Yeah. It's important to note that I am going to call everything example when I save everything because it'll be easier for me to find. So that is an Audacity file, but now we also have to export it in a WAV file because the program takes a WAV file. So I'll go to File, Export Audio, Export to this computer. I'm going to browse. And I'm already in AVTR1, the manuals, materials, example, voice track, wave. And then I hit export, and it is there. We now have what your avatar is going to say. As promised, if you don't want to hear your own voice, as the avatar. There's lots of different free ways to do it. This one, I'm going to just press play and you'll see that it is an AI recording that is actually really good.
Hi, my name is Chuck, the head brewer at AVTR1 Brewing Company. Thanks for purchasing our Avatar flight. I know you won't be disappointed, so starting from the left, the experience begins with the Sunlit Wheat, a hazy Belgian-style wit beer. It pours a pale gold with a gentle, frothy head.
Okay, I'm not going to do the whole thing just because it's going to take too much time. But this was done using this program in 11labs.io, and we'll put this in the manual as well. It is free, but it takes, like, you have credits and the credits regenerate every week or every month, so you have to be careful of how many voiceovers you're going to do. You can also purchase stuff, but there's other ones out there. I just found this one to be very lifelike and was easy to use. But overall, if you don't, like I said,
Inviting the nose with aromas of orange peel and
once
freshly
again,
crushed coriander.
all I had to do was I copied the text, I put it into this, I picked a voice, and off it went. So there are lots of options for you when it comes to how you want to present your avatar's voice. The SRT file is the engine that determines where your avatar gets positioned in the real world and what movements it makes during the experience. The great thing is there is a free program that will automatically convert your voice recording into the base SRT file. Let's walk through this process. If you haven't already done so, you need to download the program called Subtitle Edit by nitsky.dk. This website address is in the manual. This is the program that allows you to add the movements. So it's important. So let's just make sure that it's done. And once it's done, then we go to TurboScribe. So turboscribe.ai is a free software. Now I've paid for the unlimited version, but that's okay. If you don't have the unlimited, you still just register under your email address and you get 3 free transcriptions per day. And it's as simple as click transcribe files. You're going to add a file you're going to transcribe. We're going to do the example voice that we recorded earlier, and we're going to transcribe it as the whale, which is the most accurate. We press transcribe, and it's going to do it for us. Doesn't take too long at all. And of course, once it gets done, all we need to do is click these 3 buttons. We press export the transcript. We export it as an SRT. We click download. It shows up there. We double click. And, oh, it didn't open. Double click again. Oh, here it is. It did open. And now we've got it. So this is what an SRT file looks like. And in the next section, we'll show you how to add the movements and the placements of your avatar. Now that we have the experience narration in the SRT format, it is time to determine where we want the avatar to appear in relation to the QR code that activates the experience, the size of the avatar, and the movements you want the avatar to do while it regales the guest with your story. So here is the SRT file that we exported from TurboScribe. What I'm going to do here, this is how you saw it, and just to make it a bit easier for me and maybe for you, I'm going to change the view, put it up over on the right hand side of the screen, which is going to hopefully make it easier for you to see what we're about to do. Okay, so the first thing that you need to have done is to go through and understand base codes 101. Basically, the base codes are what happens before the avatar starts talking. So we need to know, what size do you want the avatar? Do you want it to be on the ground or floating? where is it positioned in relation to the QR code. So if you look at this picture, the QR code is here. You want the avatar to show up here. That means you need to move where it's placed over to the left and then away from or behind the front of the QR code. And then there's a great new feature called idle talking, which saves you from having to put in movements all the time. It just provides a randomization of all the different hand gestures and movements. And then if you're doing a background track, which we haven't done in this one, but we will in the advanced video, the music play. Okay, so that is all the important stuff. Make sure you read that. Let's go back to this folder, in this file. So what we're going to do is we're going to insert a line before it. Notice how it has a negative here. We don't want to start at a negative, so it tells you the start time. So we want the start time basically to be 0000. So, well, 01. And the duration for these codes can be 0 because they are just placeholders for actions. Okay, so for this one, well, that avatar is on the ground. So we say ground true. That code is going to put the avatar on the ground. Now we say insert one after, puts in a new line. And you can do one as quickly as every 100th of a second. All right. So we want this one to move. And it looks like it was about half a meter to the left. So it's negative 0.5. And you'll learn all about that from the base command reference guide. So we don't need to put a vector up and down because we've already made the ground true. And looks like the avatar is probably about 1.5 meters behind the front of the QR code. So that behind is a negative, so negative 1.5. So that will place the avatar to the left and behind the front of the QR code or in front of the camera, right? So when the camera is facing it, is in front of where the camera is pointing. Okay. So you've got your ground true, your movement. Now we need to figure out what the size is. Insert after. So let's make this, see how I keep going here. 0.02 seconds, duration 0. We're going to scale human. We want your avatar to be human. And then we want your avatar to be talking idly. Insert after 0.03. And then the duration here is 000. And we are going to do idle talking. So that's basically all you need to do. That's it. You want to save it. You want to go File, Save As. Let's see. We need to go here down to AVTR1. For us, we're doing our manuals, materials for the video guide. Let's see. See how it's saving as a subrip? And it is the example SRT. And it's saved as a subrip, which is what you need. And we are done that. Now, let's just, for the sake of doing it, show you how to add in other commands. It's exactly the same. So here is the reference guide for all of the different expressions. So let's have him wave at the very beginning. So what I can do is I'm just going to copy this, and we'll go back to the SRT file. And we want him to wave right at the very beginning. So I'm going to insert just before this. And we know that this is at 1.480. So at 1.47, 0. Ooh, I've got it in the wrong one. So here's a good note. You can always go and undo. And then I'm now going to click on the right one here. So 1.470 with a duration of 0. I am going to paste in that text. And now, just as I start talking, I should wave. And that's as simple as it is. I'm just going to save that, and we are all set. We now have all of the components required to bring your experience to life: the link to the avatar, the narration wave file, and the SRT file. A good idea is to label your narration and SRT files the same so that you can easily find them in the asset library, especially if you are going to have several different experiences active at the same time. We are in the home stretch. What you do first is log in to your AVTR1 site, which is perfect. And now you're going to go to your assets because we need to update the assets first and upload them. So you go to here, and we are going to upload 3 different things. One is the RPM link, and that is the link to your avatar. So you can see I've already got my avatars open. So I am going to go here. This is the one that we built. Select it. Click next. I'm going to copy this. And I'm going to go back to the dashboard. RPM link. I'm going to paste it right there. And let's call test video avatar. And I'm going to upload the asset. Done. Now we're going to upload the audio file that we built. Okay, so, this is a audio file. So we are going to do my voice, the example voice track. We could have used the AI voice if we wanted to. Now that one is now uploaded. And then we're going to upload the script file, which is the example SRT file. So now these are in our asset library. Mine is quite full because of all the different things that we had built. So it's important to know, see how we've got the examples are together. And that's one of the reasons we want to name it the same. So it's easier for us to find, especially when you're doing multiple experiences. Perfect. So then you're done with that. Now you click on your experiences. Okay, we also have lots going. I'm going to call this the test video experience. And I'm going to create it. Perfect. Now we just got to find it, probably near the bottom. Test video experience. Click on that. And now we need to add all of the assets. So we're going to start by adding in our avatar. And the good thing is it scrubs it. So only the avatars show up. So this is our test video avatar. Our narration file. So this was example voice track. Done. And we didn't do any background music for this one, which is fine. And then our script file. So that'll be example SRT. And we're basically done. Now you just need to enable and go live. There we go. There. Took a second for it to go live. And now it is absolutely ready to go. So you just right click here and see how that pulls up a video QR code. You can save this QR code and print it. And if you put this on a wall with space to the left and space in front of you, you will see what we just did. And that's all there is to it. So that's it. Thank you very much for watching this instructional video for AVTR1. And of course, if you have any questions, please reach out at info@centralcounties.ca.